morning, everybody. The sun is shining so brightly, right along with our light that shines within. I hope you all are doing well, and I'm so happy that you're joining me this morning. It's a beautiful day. So let's get in a comfy seated position. Whatever that means to you. You're sitting crisscross, or you can sit with your legs kind of like this, or stretch them out, whatever works for you. And that's the key. So I'm trying to find my little comfy zone here. I think this is right where I'm going to be. So let's just put our hands on our shoulders, hands on our knees. I'll get it. Hands on our knees, close your eyes, and sit up with a nice long spine. And let's take a deep inhalation through the nose, and a slow exhalation through the mouth. And let your shoulders melt away from your ears. So let's take another deep inhalation. Slow exhalation. Let's think about an intention we want to set for our practice this morning. So it could be something like, I will let go. And you can say, I give myself freely, I give myself freely the opportunity to let go of that which doesn't serve me any longer. I just release it and let it go. And I create space for what inspires me. And just think about that for a moment. Or maybe your intention would be something like, I will relax. Just take a moment to let that intention register. And then slowly open your eyes. And the way I'd like to start this morning is with our legs up the wall. So you can do this if you're close to a wall, or if you want to put your legs up on a chair, that works well too. So if you're coming to the wall, let's scoot your hips up close to the wall, so as close as you can get. And then just bring your legs up. And they don't have to be straight. They can be slightly bent. And just come on up to the wall. And we're going to bring our arms into cactus arms. So just kind of feel your pelvic floor and your spine melting into the mat. And your chest opening up with your cactus arms. And just rest here in this pose. Take some breaths, inhalations, exhalations equally. And just let everything melt in your body. Release. Research tells us that doing this for about 20 minutes every day can be extremely beneficial. It's a form of meditation, and it's also very good for the lymphatic system, as this is a form of an inversion, and it gets all the lymph moving through the body, helps release the toxins. So just breathe here for a couple more breaths. And then gently open the legs up a little bit. Doesn't have to be too wide. And let's flex the feet back and forth. So giving the feet a little bit of love. We're going to focus more on the hips and the hamstrings, calves and ankles this morning. So here we're just starting to open up the hips. Maybe you want to rotate your ankles, engaging the calves. And then just rest here. A couple more breaths. And if you want to bring your legs back together, have that option. And then as you're ready, bending the knees, rolling over to the side, and pushing yourself up. Good. So let's come on up to our seated, comfortable position. We're going to bring our soles together and walk the hips up towards the feet. And just let your knees open up into a butterfly. Beginning to really give our hips some attention this morning. Opening them up, keeping a nice tall spine. And if it's more comfortable for you, you can take your arms behind you and just scooch up this way and let your knees just float open, maybe back and forth, or just up and down, whatever works for you. And just breathe here. Good. Let's bring our feet away from the body. We're going to just bend the knees and guide the knees from the left to the right. And neutralize the hips. Good. Good morning, everybody. Just relaxing, moving the knees from side to side, letting them float into space. And then extend your legs out nice and wide, keeping that spine tall. And as you inhale, let's draw the arms up. Open up wide, lifting the heart. And then exhale, float on over to the left side. Inhale, coming up. Nice inhalation. Exhale, float down to the right. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming down towards the feet. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, floating down to the center. And we'll just stay here for a couple of breaths. Feeling that nice stretch in the spine. And then gently walk your hands slowly towards your body. Rolling up one vertebra at a time. Your head is the last thing to come up. Beautiful. So let's come on down to our backs. And come into a nice long stretch. So your arms are going to be overhead. And you're just going to float back on the mat. Good. And stretch out. Draw your navel towards your spine. Take some deep breaths here. Stretch those legs and arms out like somebody's pulling at you from top to bottom. And feel the tension as you stretch. And then gently release the body, release the arms, release the tension. Pause here and check in with the sensations that are going on in your body. Gently feeling some of that releasing, some of the tension that builds up. We're going to let it go. So now let's draw the knees up towards the body and cross the left ankle over the right knee, and take your hands and just guide your right knee towards your body, or you can hold on to your left foot and left knee and just gently press that knee into the body. Feel that inner thigh stretch on the left side, and take a deep breath down into that left side. Good, breathing. Then gently release the left leg, and like you're pushing through peanut butter, very slowly cross the right ankle over the left knee. Draw that left knee towards the body and grab your right foot, your right knee. Press, and feel that nice stretch in the right inner thigh. Take a deep breath down into that right side. And your feet are flexed and the toes are open. And just breathing here. Good. Then gently release the right leg. And let's bring both legs up and grabbing your calves, pressing your legs towards your body, and starting to feel a nice calf stretch. Maybe a stretch in your hamstrings. And breathe. Then gently bend the knees, and placing your hands on your knees, let's just press the knees open from here, feeling the extra stretch in both hips. Take some deep breaths here. And then draw the knees together. And as you use your core to twist, let's drop the knees to the right side. Arms are extended out to the sides. As your head turns to the left, your left shoulder is melted onto the mat, along with your right shoulder. Breathe down deep into this left side. And then as you're ready, using your core strength and guiding the knees over to the left side, let them fall where they may. Turning your head to the right, keeping those shoulders on the mat. And take a deep breath down into this right side. Beautiful. And then bring the knees back to center, stretch the legs out. Let's take that right leg and we're going to grab the balls of the right foot with the right hand, draw the knee towards the body, and feel that nice stretch in the hamstrings, the quads, the hip, the ankles, the calf. And then release the right leg. Let's bring that left leg up and grab the balls of the left foot with the left hand, drawing that knee towards the body. And take some breaths here. Feel that release in the left inner thigh, the hip, hamstrings, the quad, the ankle, calf. And then draw the right leg up, grabbing the balls of the right foot, coming into full happy baby. Keep the pelvic floor on the mat and press the knees towards the body, falling on the outside of by the rib cage. And just breathe your equal inhalations and exhalations. And then gently drop the feet to the mat, and just let the knees float from left to right. Once again, neutralizing the hips. So walking the feet back towards the hips, keeping them hip width apart. If it's available to you, you can clasp your hands underneath, rolling the shoulders back, and using your core strength, draw the navel up. Inhale as you lift the hips, resting on the shoulders, keeping the knees nice and firm and straight into our bridge pose. Feeling the glutes tighten and the hamstrings and quads, calves and ankles, working them. And breathe. And then gently release. Pause and take a few breaths here, and we'll do that one more time. Just check in with your body. Good. And as you're ready, clasping the hands underneath, rolling the shoulders back, or keeping your hands flat on the mat. That's fine, either way. As you inhale, using your core strength, raise the hips, keeping the knees nice and firm and straight, resting on your shoulders, and breathe. And then gently release. Stretch your legs out. Give them a nice shake. Good. And then draw the knees to the chest. And then with your hands on your knees, massage your spine. So keeping the pelvic floor on the mat. Feel that nice rotation in your spine, in that lumbar area, the sacral spine. And then place your hands underneath the knees and just roll up to a seated position. I'm going to grab my blanket. We're going to stand on our knees. So I had my knees a little bit this morning. I welcome you to do the same thing. So standing on our knees. Let's see, let me come back a little bit so you can see me. Tugging on my britches, so our knees are about hip width apart. So taking the right hand to the small of the back. As you inhale, raise the left arm up, pushing your hips forward and letting your head rest parallel to the floor. And breathe. Gently release the left arm. Bring the left hand to the small of the back. We'll take that right arm up. As you inhale, draw the right arm up and back, pushing your hips forward, and take some breaths here. And then gently bring the right arm down. Good. So now let's come on into our puppy dog. So we're still on our knees. We're going to just walk the hands forward a little bit. Line the knees and the hips up together. And just let your chest melt down towards the mat. Rest on your forehead here. And just take a few breaths here in puppy dog. Breathing deeply. And then as you're ready, come onto your hands and floating the spine, floating our hips back and forth. As you inhale, come forward into an up dog or a cobra or whatever is comfortable for you. And just scooch back a little bit more so you can see me. There we go. So inhale, coming forward. If you want to just float your hips from side to side here, feel free to do that. Kind of explore what feels good to you. And then as you exhale, bring the hips towards the ankles. Inhale, come forward. Excuse me. Exhale, floating back towards the ankles. Inhale, floating forward, and just let your body float. Whatever you're feeling this morning, it's your practice, and you have to really explore what feels good to you. So just hold it here for just a few breaths. Building a little upper body strength here. Keeping the elbows tucked in toward the rib cage. And breathe. Shoulders are soft. Good. So let's come into tabletop. So walk the hands back towards the body. Maybe the ankles are lined up more underneath the shoulders. Ooh. And as you inhale, let's take the right arm up and out, looking skyward. And then bring that right arm underneath the left arm. Come on down to your right shoulder, or you can stay here on your elbow, whatever is more comfortable for you. And breathe. And then release that right arm, coming back into tabletop. Let's take that left arm up as you inhale, looking skyward, and then let the left arm float down underneath the right arm, resting on your elbow or your shoulder, whatever works for you. And just hold here for a couple of breaths. Beautiful. And then bring that left arm back into tabletop. So staying here in tabletop with your fingers nice and widespread. As you inhale, let's draw the navel towards the spine, curving the spine. Good. Exhale. Come on down. Drop your chest as your head and your tailbone come up. Inhale, drawing the navel towards the spine. Good. Exhale. We'll do a couple more of these. Inhaling up. Exhale. Last one coming up. Inhale, taking the spine up. Exhale, coming down into a cow. Good. And rest here for a moment. So now let's come into child's pose. I'm going to put my blanket over here now. So coming to child's pose, we've got nice widespread knees. Let me see my britches here. Widespread knees as we come forward, melting the chest toward the mat, extending the arms out, and resting here in child's pose. And then bringing the hands, the palms of the hands together at the base of the neck, resting here in our Namaste hands. And then release the hands back down to the mat. Let's walk the arms over to the right as you inhale, placing the left hand on top of the right hand, and just taking a deep breath down to this left side. And then walk the hands across the center over to the left, placing the right hand on top of the left hand. Breathe down deep into that right side. And then walk the hands back to the center. So let's extend that right leg out behind us. We're going to bring that left knee forward. Stretch out that right leg, sitting on our left hip. And you can always put a block underneath your hip if you need to elevate, if it's more comfortable that way. So coming into our pigeon pose. So you can do it that way, or you can just bend both of your knees and sit here sideways. That works too. And just take a few breaths here. Shoulders are soft, elbows are hugging the rib cage. Breathe deep into this left inner thigh, the left hip, and then bring that right knee up. Coming into child's pose one more time. Resting here for just a few breaths. And then as you're ready, bringing that right knee forward, stretching out that left leg, resting on your right hip, and you can slide a block right under here, under your hip, and just rest on that, or pillow, or a blanket. And the elbows are hugging your rib cage, shoulders are nice and soft. And just take a few breaths here. Take a deep breath down into the right inner thigh. Beautiful. Then stretch out the right leg. Let's come on down to our tummies. All the way down. So we're going to rest on our elbows. And our arms are still hugging the rib cage. Our elbows are kind of lined up with our shoulders. So coming into Sphinx. So let's just gently turn the head from the left to the right. Breathing. Good. Good. And then back to center. Then coming all the way down onto the mat. Put your arms out to the sides, palms facing up. And as you inhale, lifting the chest up only. And breathe. And then exhale, release. Come on down to the mat. Now as you inhale, just raise the legs. Just the legs. And breathe. And then release the legs down to the mat. And as you're ready, we'll inhale and bring up both the chest and the legs into full locust pose. Take a few breaths here. Good. Rolling the shoulders back. And then release. Come on back down to the mat. Pause here. Rest on your cheeks. And then if you'd like a nice hamstring stretch here, you can grab your ankles or just lift the legs. Bring them back as close as you can towards the hips. And rest here, stretching the quads and the hamstrings. And for those of you who want to go a little bit deeper, you can come into bow pose, lifting the chest and the knees, and breathe. And then gently release, and let's come on back into child's pose. Neutralizing our spine. And you can rest with your arms forward, or if you want to put them back, let your shoulders just melt down towards the mat. Take a few breaths here. And then as you're ready, pushing yourself up to a standing position. However that works for you. Coming up slowly. Good. So, coming into a mountain pose. We've got our feet hip width apart. Checking in with our alignment this morning. So, stacking the bones. So we've got our shoulders nice and soft and relaxed. And they're lined up with our hips. We've got our hips lined up with our slightly bent knees. And our knees lined up with our ankles. And take a few breaths here and just admire your alignment. Got a nice vertical spine and neutral pelvis. And breathe. And then as you're ready, inhale, taking the arms up, slightly back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming into a halfway lift. Good. Exhale, coming back into forward fold. Inhale, coming up into a half lift. Yeah. Exhale, sitting in our chairs. Knees are nice and firm and straight, looking skyward, feeling this luscious squat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, walk the arms up the legs. And then as you inhale, taking the arms back one more time. Oh, yes. Exhale, floating forward. Inhale, coming into a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale into a half lift. Good. Exhale, sitting in our chairs one more time. And then coming back down into forward fold. As you inhale, walking the arms up the legs, coming up slowly, one vertebra at a time. Good. Let's see, okay. So let's take the left foot forward, and we're going to bring the right leg back. And come into our warrior one, so our right foot is at a 90-degree angle, or it can be straight ahead, whatever works for you. Bending that left knee, coming into our warrior one. Shoulders are soft. Lift lifting the heart, opening the chest, and breathe. And then let's come on down to the foot, framing the left foot with the hands, stretch that right leg out and come forward into a lunge. So we've got a nice deep lunge going here, stretching out that right leg, right hip, stretching out that right psoas muscle, and breathe. And then dropping the knee down, the right knee down, bringing that left calf into a nice stretch. Good. So coming back up, let's walk that foot back to the front. So this time we're going to take the right foot forward, take the left foot back into 90 degrees, coming into warrior one on this side. So bending that right knee, coming into warrior one. Our shoulders are soft, we're lifting our hearts, and we're breathing. Nice firm front knee. And then bringing the hands down to frame that right foot, extending that back leg out into another deep lunge on this side. Feeling this all the way down, the hip, quads, hamstring, calf, ankles, toes, all of that is engaged. Also that left psoas muscle. Then drop the left knee down to the mat and let's stretch out that right calf. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Good. So let's swing that right leg back behind us and come forward, sitting in a comfortable seated position. Good. So as you inhale now, bring the arms up, open up the chest. Good, beautiful. And take the arms behind the back, clasping the hands. So we're rolling the shoulders back. Let's come forward to wherever your edge of flexibility is. Always honor where you are. And then release the arms down the back. Bring them forward. As you inhale, raising the arms up. And then coming forward into forward fold here. And just rest here for a breath or two. And then walk the hands towards the body. Good. There's never enough time. But I'm so happy that you could join me this morning, and I hope you are able to let all that stuff that is unnecessary for you, let it go. Just let it go and continue to let your light shine from within. It's a beautiful day. Get out and enjoy it today. It's going to be spring-like. So I want to thank you so much for being with me this morning. And I look forward to seeing you again Thursday morning at 9 o'clock. And until then, remember to think peaceful thoughts, always speak kind words, and radiate as much love from your hearts as you possibly can. Thank you. I love you all. Namaste.